Botugi bwechingoko engoko company nigo babwate go chakire bicucu bibirengo by'igoro mono byiri tukelimo ebyo byire chanjo bitari go chandwa n'amarwaire broilers echo kigo kina bwango gwe kilo nenusu asa matuke 30 layers kikobeka magena gweka 330 aso mwaka amagena yokoria are fresh emesaro ya improved kienyeji buna saso broilers na rainbow roasters cyose aso kubeka magena voigo enyama nechitwa nigo chigo isarera konyenya asemetienyi itatuyoka na gweka chikiro gwetani ibere nenuso asemetienyi tato voigo mabwate bicucu bya improved kienyeji byomotenyo yomo amonendagera ao jechingoko n'ibintu by'ugucirageria buna feeders na drinkers asamange batarira bisicyabo imeyo mu cyobusongo mwa Mutumbi Plaza mbarbare na main stage y'Kigali gose bakiresime ase namba 0710831806 gose website ya www.engoko.com engoko hamonaye asobotuge. Healthy Kenya International Center ni nyagitari egotoka imeyo mu cyobusongo egotumeka chimashini chiekerero chikomoleka ebimo byago na komanyaso bebole nabako amariogo arosirie kurwa semete arosirie nebirengo by'igoro mono kurwa chinse jaisiko nkubwenya bali amarwere buna diabetes gose esukari high blood pressure emechando y'echinengo cancer chinyigo emechando yabaga kabuna low libido obogomba amona yande amange nigo babwate amaryo uchakera yabana goikabanto abanene
inche no munyagitari clinic maubanye omo director bwa enyagitari tukoroka HK International Medical Center erega igo muchito bosongo nainde nigo ntegete ko bariga ni mono sana na kubatebinga nigo togo va services chiekerero tugotumia obobwenia bwekerero technology yo kuligererio mubero omugima nainde twarigereria ngambi mo kibiri byasero twara muchanda twakwa amariogo na amariogo yaito nigo tunyarusiti ase chinse chesko ao nande nigare habo ayuto kurusia ase chinse buna bono kurustura amariogo asense ya Hong Kong eyeri ni China na amariogo ande nigo tokurusia asense ya Malaysia ayande kurustura asense ya Spain na ayande nigo tokurusia asense ya California Los Angeles California in USA mariogo ande nale tokurusia somo chyo India na ayande nigo tokunyarusia asense ya South Africa ayana ara mariogo akonyara gusibia omochando yikorwa somo bero na ende nonya nigo kuru mwaka 2011 twabere tukubwenia abantu abange nande nigare habo tabwatia ni side effect yara kolentere kiagera na yemete igo karibu sana senye gitari yetu ya HK International Medical Center
asamange bakiri simia senamba 0717 176 383 Health Kenya International obubwenia uligene. Etaya TV Oborabu Wagusi
We are giving one to the television and also so that and they go to the Singapore to the Ronene. The Matana Botambo do one the sector you ime yinzito ya Kenya kwa digital way na saba tuna kema soma ngendete as school na serikali pia wengine walio yisemi kwa kia wengine darasa tulitolewa na tuate aba academy aba kama yisemi kabisa aba kutodevi igoro ya mwana kwa sekta education na kia kwenda ngera wacha situsimambi yabana yole uko yina plus za mtandao Facebook na TV YouTube na TV kwa hivyo watanyora agudra se namba SMS yao ila tumele agudra se 75 kwa wote nenga kiago cha sekta hii kisemi kuna improvement usipando maendeleo ya kuona bado tumeendelea bila kuna change kupeleka siku kwa presentia kwa serikali ndio ya watu wote na tuweze watu tumefikia kidende na njia kanji ncha kwa ndio ndio bwana aliingia kisemi sensitive yake kama mnaitwe asema bi ya boninga wakati kwa norote asetivia kuna wengeto asema bi yelitiko yalero ndio kwa ibaga watu kwani inefanya ndio kwa sisi ya romo na kwa sisi kaunti na kwa kile musi wale kwa watu Dennis na kwa manyi kama jisemi masuala yenzi yake na watu kwanda simambi ya wana sio taka yani Kristoba ibaga Kristoba kwani hapo watu wachie gere ndio kana ngoja na ukika tunakata baada yale kwani gere Kristoba au kwa mwanchuria sio taka mambo ya wale kainsa.
Bienvenue Brighton.
Yes.
Osinde Christopher, our colleague as Catholic of Kisi as Education Department. And bienvenue so konyarga ngongariania na baminta se program ya bono mami. Asante.
Kwa naiza Christopher leo tumete use ngatiwa kwa naiza
kwenu machine jino leo chikali somono.
Kwa naiza
okay. Oh my goodness. Njenguru Christopher Osinde.
Yes.
And kokolega said this Catholic dance ya Kisi as a department education.
Yes.
And na akirubia soko ngaliania abaminta egere to sange gorigise ya se ito.
Bisa yes education as a Catholic schools na kiere so far.
Well, tingo tabanga mbiere ekogera of late yakorekana education ya jacob very expensive. And the CPC, they are now called CPE, the competency based education in whatever.
Yes.
I think konyori bitange bingi sana. Especially as junior secondary okomachikoranga tekera netubuya ekora ntu bangete una last time katwalenga ntu atebetenga bacha agite system weye kubyo serikali yaitire bamigete mikakati yekwende ikoge ogendera baroriti program bakayetiga ubute gonte to own things mingi
katika sekta ya elimu mitandao msingi maikani tulikwenda tena kwa manager simamia
wana data TV kwa mjamore ya mwana sana nenda so mwike mambia wano asengencho yosanga ibara manana HSM usiye jona kanye ngima is a wonderful opportunity osanga emambia na wami kwa holinga TV so wala HSM jibo ministry and what the challenges here and then our rana and got here reforms here because it's like about what the challenges here very keen then no anticipated benefits so we are to get the reforms here what most crisis was already changamoto mjando monge yes or out shining okay.
What do you think that the mchande mingi error second
it's all about interest karoga interest ya chile motu again don't get saba sa ndio vile kuumia ndio tangana interest inaweza kama na education tuligeza ya focus here and the delays in the disbursement and demos was process ile iko or CBC or primary or primary or junior, then you go in secondary, senior secondary, then you go to colleges, you go to universities. You solve problems in every sector. There was a
Kweli limbuye muno Brighton nande at least mwaka wa 2025 na sasa niwe korangeli unaye
Yes, yeah.
nkale kwa ndangeleti jengoro ku daktari Nyabayo so Okindo kulikuwa gantikete na mentete masomo ande tangodi na graduated only kunya kusuka tole asense ya masomo na individuals na mentire nilikuwa ndide na wale na daktari mbona lia menta
Yes,
thank you. So ntonda tebenga aba 90 bonds bakoligelia ya TV etetemba kwani nga wakire mwensi and I want to say that amangana atojo kwanira chisemi chiaberi chinkon Kenya buna nche omutenirwe skuru ya St Mary's emechando ere minge kububuya koru kochenchi system na new system koru old system to the new system koru 844 to the new ones CBC bono ya chiri bono ya buruka ebintu bono tokumanya nga itoroji lakini okunya batabu kroko genda county directors sub county directors na banya batenga yango sukatori butia you only follow baramumbaro chobuya lakini into una balia batenbeji skuru atawata butuske butia matikero gusuka utabwa tibumanyi negenteke konsana una bali mwetu anjitenga tutwale omanyi egekuru guja obwatubuma omanyi lakini ko ikiranga tubwatibumanyi lakini ubwento suke mechando yakoreki ya soire
pesa na oyo no Okindo kurwa secondary na kwa mbusuito kabisa
the school is good and we appreciate God is with us. We are doing good tunaendelea kuongezeka
pesa tengena na Kristo watu pale ngori mechande kila ichukule mejalera sekta education kuna naye mitaikiyesi kila wiguni wa tena na bona ngaja machiko seriguna ke ara wiguni bachibaira ne wakana mate imonye bimbira rono ne pati dotani pati terabe kuya ase sekta education problem ase sekta education because education is the key, is the horizon, not a problem. Yes.
Education manyete in any country. Pero that the country go commence with education.
Yes.
You interfere with education, wa vekire country roje.
Yeah.
Education is responsibility of everybody. A government, parents, and other stakeholders that are in the churches there and others, you know. Now, ito Oiso kuinyora kero muy arendete 844.
Yes.
Kairete ngapua. Lakini kero aba Kenya bari is questions nga na kirendu wache nchiga akalia raisinga abantu bari kuba comfortable ne imbaji ko support education system. Akarangeli education is bakagenda KI Kenya Institute of Education na yali ngeli karone ko KICD. Bakamwa advice. Yes. What to do, and they did it. He responded very fast. Remember, 844 yajete, there was not even a single book 844. Syllabus. Just that. So those of us who are very lucky, Korangiru by the government, Koganda KICD, then go advise what to do. The advice is when the ministering there a president they call it 1, 2, 3 a program when they succeed. He did exactly that. He could look for money. He gave it out very fast, teachers guides. Then when he subject to identity, also called 844 regional. 844 regional. Yes. CPC almost went the same way. Are you getting it? Yeah, that's why education is about everything. Why could they revise and edit the 844 system? Why bring a totally new system? Is to move with the current demands, international demands, education and development, which was okay. ekero barorete bono te CPC na ye guru CPE here and for the last 2 months combat based education ne ringa ekero ya chagetwe aya better rolled without any preparation. CPC. Without any preparation. Yes, actually, Okorori program area. They should have borrowed from 844 but we don't want to repeat what happened, despite the fact that the president responded very fast to correct whatever. That shift change. Now, a year CPC yacha, I have better rolled without public participation. The public was not sensitized. People were resist from the right to go from the beginning. Number two, Abalim Baba prepared. You know, Baka spectators, and that's the worst part. Are you getting it? Yes. Number three, Bagateva, Abaibuli, Navarro participate. So was on me, Manu from school, or and I can undo it as can, and by your carnomo. Yab explained the parent. You know, those are some of the simple statements that made it a bit complicated. However, Ekeroya better rolled, and I said this last time. One minister came Magatevaya, can we stop here and go back to the drawing board? Nobody listened to her. She was bundled out. A new minister came, a professor came, and he started rolling it out. Now, it's a two-way you got to take on the past because that's how the problems are. As to in the forest. Are you getting it? Yes. Funding is too low. Are you getting it? Preparedness to implement CPC is too low. Lastly, which is a bit very delicate, junior secondary. Totally prepared. Already the new government came. Like junior secondary after 3-4 months. Yes. Are you getting it? There were no funds. There was no preparation. Yeah. Now that complicates everything. Junior secondary. Junior secondary. Are you getting it? Now that complicates everything.
CPC mandatory in a forest. You want to rock your my God, or I was interrupting. Das ist mir das die Unitani Ro, but we address Baroshar, goes to the common manage to get track or no one. Our positions to address these challenges. Bye. What's the Brighton? Yes. CBC here was a CBE kuna that Mutakengakia President Uhuru towards the tail end the Okosoka Kwai. Yeah. Kuna Secretary Osinde yeah, toward the resistance of the ground. Stakeholders about the resistance of what it was not compared to there was a lot of resistance. Over time one and one set of Egabigera postpone wake. Niyoleji campaign ya 2022. Ora ibora bona iga but number 1 ilenga bia sowete bia lenga chances are very high but then ndiye ndo na CBC. Ile president ya office ya appointed ya kunga presidential working party on matters education. Yeah. Recommendations here traditions here very implemented. There are challenges here lengo no working party area tebet. Lakini nende over time because sumulio kanga tikakira agenda. And our challenge for every minister of water nerengo jaro twara obo kongu haye specific. Kama mina Muhammad ya sote rata ya Congress stakeholders vacant no because ngokonya areas. Ekero professor the late Makori sote era brudo sirio kaga suma rio era challenge ya how do you call it challenge ya classes enkai junior secondary cover
domicile.
Yes.
It was a challenge. The issue you was set up classes. Still a question here domiciling classes in upon in the flesh.
Yes.
Still, the current minister he grappled with that challenge. Because we have a primary school,
Yes.
Domiciled, junior secondary domiciled. Still, on the area, even the financing was infrastructure support area that paid. In as much as Toko and Chirusa, still you realize their challenges. What am I saying? Yeah. For every minister of water or Kenya, can still their challenges. But the level at which challenges still and what tackle those challenges, it can From the look of things, a government here what hell-bent, without getting stakeholders' opinion, you realize not because now it is very necessary to go to stakeholders with you and I and this is where we have a problem, a major challenge. Stakeholders are Catholic, Adventist, PAG, Chonsi, people more complain. You realize in a school, then we have teachers. Yes. So we have a challenge with the stakeholders, but incorporated from the onset. If a situation in it, analyze the situation. The government, these are the challenges to what? Stakeholders, bonds, these are the challenges to what? Because the majority of the stakeholders. Then they agree, but to a common agenda and those go to stakeholders agree, but the as a jam of classrooms, junior secondary. Once they agree, another route, resources, but give us time. Resources are delayed. Just school chairs here, support staff, but I work. Just school chairs here, project here, yet you expect school to go, what is happening there? Stakeholders, they have nothing to explain. I go to my principals have complained in as much as managers, which is school under the Ministry of Education. No one ever there are pains sometimes to explain some of the challenges that are principals who manage the school. Board of Management was in there as participated, Secretary was in there as participated in Monosana or incorporate set up boards of management. You can tell you sometimes they get a challenge. Some of the boards you also have managed schools are totally challenged. Some of them go ahead and facilitate using their own resources. Facilitate school. Some of them are paying for suppliers. Or you know will be told later. Yes.
Is this the same challenges you with that? And Kirojina to Anyoriru, Asoko Kebisha, assessed.
We are not late. I want to share with you that we are not late. Better late than never. Afadhali turudi ama tuchirudie. We check on what we are supposed to do and we do the right thing. Because as we move on, tukiendelea kusonga mbele iko shida. Yaani emechando nerega iga unatoka nenda kusuka kuchimotu. Etoka nenda kutindeka abana. Omwaka soyonde toko teranga mbuya tokartaki. Mbuya tolentoli buya. Yende kitangani the new dispensation ya CBC acha private schools that were not involved. Negento wote bunga bwatu buchiabu. Genda tuma balimu bao bakole workshop. Principal bakole workshop. So do you want to sing a workshop which is a change? Lera watu mwalimu ogende workshop buna private schools. Mwalimu ogende school ngao. So a school yawe akonye kiribori. ya twele muchando sababu umwalimu uli asometiwe what is supposed to be done, how to implement okoreki osoki.
Yes.
And I also katalinga mwago sana lakini anyora the better opportunities which you cannot say no to the same. Nje une director ya St. Mary's na wote banga please, where we are, it's not too late. Toirane on the drawing board. Our new PS, Pitok, we kindly request you come back to the ground. Call all stakeholders, call all the principals. It's not about public participation, is to consolidate Amaonia Kera educationalist. What is supposed to be done? What can be done first? What can be done next? Tutuale system kwamba nga ekeiga toketangana lego gekora. Education bagotanga is a venture, is an endless venture that we hope to new or discover new things. It is not late. So just endless venture. We cannot end. So you can take a time you katwala okora.
Yes.
Umo PS yoito arangeli chi principle. Chi principle is school, day school, and public schools. Both private and public.
Yeah.
What is the real monster in the house?
Yeah.
From there, this is why the system is not moving. Because it's not moving.
Yes.
We are stuck. And the reason why we are stuck is that there's a lot of intimidation from bosses to juniors in our system. How did it happen? For 4 years. Bono yaikire otete akoba nchobu yabuane. Obu yabuane bukotuko mwana so mata bwate school fees. Abo ibori bago chapagalo sene school sene university. Bali ginjere nde barakole bakane ina consulted way bakane ebiri elia because ne biri mwana akole abekire. Egere tunyara ko koraki musuka. Lakini gwata yabanga untache tukuru certificate. Let me tell you, we are going to underperform in all schools because teachers and principals, they are going to be merciless on debts in school and students.
Brighton.
Yes.
You know, we at times Kenyans behave as if we came from Thailand the other day to ask what's happening in Kenya. We know the economy of our country.
Yes.
All told us that we lose 2 billion every day through corruption.
Yeah.
Are you getting it?
Yes.
A growing economy losing 2 billion every day because of corruption.
Yeah.
2, we have a high population, many schools, that education takes the highest budget in the country.
Yeah.
Then from nowhere, and I quote me anywhere, from nowhere, a president and a minister of education bring when the education system that is too expensive, that even a developed country cannot afford. Are you getting it? Which means those who started this system, knowing the economy and the expense that it would need, and they rolled it, they must have had personal interests. Let us be very sincere, because we are now in a mess. That's why one minister said, we cannot succeed in this thing the way we are going.
Yes.
Can we hold on here and go back to the drawing board? She was not listened to. We continued. And we reached a point where we were in grade 6 in 2022, going to grade 7 in 2023, without preparing for junior secondary. That was one of the the worst oversight of our previous government. Let us be very sincere. You know, I'm not a politician, and I'm not interested in politics. I'm more interested in education. And we have to say where the rain started, or hailstone started beating us, totally in the para. Are you getting Brighton?
Yes.
Now, you get a third time, my brother said, a working party came. Are you getting it?
Yes.
That working party was supposed to help the president and the new government. Unfortunately, from the look of things, they never helped. No. Do you know why? When the new government came in, Bakanyoranga, it went to junior secondary, and there's no preparation on the ground at all. Because teachers should have been prepared and employed. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Infrastructure should have been put in place, classrooms, workshops, and laboratories. Then equipment should have been put in. Are you getting it? If you look at the grade 8 syllabus, in the chemistry or biology, it's a topic in area form 3, current form 3.
Yeah.
Are you getting it?
Anyway.
That means it's a very high type of content, but there was no preparation. The only good thing that working party said, and I agreed with it, is that let it be domiciled in primary as a stopgap, not a solution. Let us be very sincere here. No, as a stopgap. So that was a stopgap. 2023, the government should have started saying, what do we do to correct this that the previous government never did. Are you getting it? Yes. And I told you last time, my diocese, Kisi diocese, ya presented this document to that working party. In Tangani, let us have it at primary as a stopgap. Provide money for the following. In case the government does not have money that it can provide for junior second, grade 7, 8, and 9 by providing all this in the next 2 years, then we give alternative 2.
Yeah.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Our alternative 2 as a diocese to the government that time through that working party was grade 7 and grade 8 remain in the primary. There were classrooms. Standard 7 and standard 8. So let the government provide money for workshops and laboratories and the teachers for only 2 grades. So that for 2025, and I get me right here, Brighton, for 2025, we shall have no Form 1. Let grade 7 and 8 remain as junior secondary domiciled in primary. Let grade 9 go to secondary because Form 1 will not be there. We shall have teachers, we shall have facilities, we shall have equipment. Yes. Are you getting it? Yes. And that was 2022 before the end of it. We came to 2023, nothing had been done. I asked my bishop to make an appointment for me for Majogu and Kipsang. He made it. I went with the Faika Channel to Joko House. 2023 December. And I told the then Minister for Education very clearly, sit with the president, sit with the permanent secretary. Grade 9, nothing is being prepared for 2025. Nothing. For that reason, let us have grade 7 and grade 8. Now I'm back to our alternative 2. You have 1 year, 2024, to prepare for senior secondary. We have no Form 1 in 2025. The president is Chibirasi grade 9, workshop, laboratory in primary, stop some primary even they don't have even land for that. There is space in secondary 2025. Prepare for grade 9 to go to secondary. After all, we had from 5 and 6 2 classes separate. So 7 and 8 being junior secondary, there's no problem. So that you prepare for grade 9 to go to secondary, 2025. However, I told him, I'm a curriculum developer. So what you will do in 2024, no go make KICD, but remove all the syllabus, the topics that need practicals in the grade 9 and the grade 7 and the grade 8, grade 7 and 8, all those practicals in the grade 9 and 10. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Then, what the minor practicals, which are not even under 3 in grade 7 and 8. Number 2, the Kenya National Examination Council. This is December 2023. But prepare 2025 at the end at grade 8, an exam that will be summative evaluation. It will enable you to get a grade 9 second. You will solve a very serious problem because in junior secondary, we don't have enough teachers. Nothing. And they told me, the working party said they remain. So what I said, I told him, thank you, but you remember that we came here as a diocese to advise.
Yes, they know why you are the challenges in competition. Now, what you are changing your CPC, now CP.
Brighton.
Yes.
Christopher Osinde, he has been an academician. He understands it's a value education,
yes,
among reforms,
yeah,
or since independence, or one of the Cambridge, Agabaya, East Africa, Victoria, Kabaya, there are a lot of commissions which are on board. You need to avoid the report. I recommended the free education, 1964,
yes,
sometimes back. All those processes in the commission, the committee, Professor Munia for the presidential working party. Again, the bottom line, it's a challenge in funding. Over time, to education budget. It's over 600 billion. For every year, everybody education, you got a lion's share. I think a lion's share, like you got a because to whom much is given, a lot is expected.
Yes.
Education sector, a lot. We expect a lot, but are we getting this a lot? Now, realizing that there are more challenges. Perhaps cartels work in the ministry up to some level. Sometimes back, a PSC, long-serving PS, Professor Dr. Orioki, he was moved. I think you got here, Professor Makori, the late. He was moved to some other ministry.
Yes.
But when the regime that is currently in office came, Professor came. Dr. Orioki was brought back. Things went up to some level. And transfer. Could it be this is the long script? Some people might also a ministry, but mess up things up to some level. But system you're realizing we need to do away with so and so and be because ministers have been coming, they know they know the accounting officers, nothing much but except giving a strategic direction in ministry. So my message in we have a problem with the accounting officers, but I go already and prioritization, in your quite priority. In my own opinion, you realize the system, right from primary, junior secondary, senior secondary, colleges and universities, we are not getting it right because there is delayed disbursements, then there is deliberate delays in the benefit. It is deliberate. We have given you 600 billion plus. Why won't you deliver? Then you come here, what the bank again to get and even the teachers, they are over time. Sometimes there is a lot of resources you pumped into that, but we don't see things working. My way forward, yes, a minister for once needs to put his head together with other stakeholders. Bamanya, the root cause of all these problems, but I know they know these things, they know where the problem is. It's not about interests. Somebody somewhere thinks about 600 billion. Let me take them elsewhere, and I got into a little bit of say they are stakeholder, there are people that get a project to get it, to Isakora. Finally, every regime you have take advantage as education. Kibaki regime came, they got free education. They tried as well, but people complained that there are things that didn't work. Is it quality education or is it quantity education? You remember Abana Koga in the school and being no one school was a song of Karakana and Buchieti Kobo, Tokanyorana, but we have challenges with the education. Eka trigger, both in primary and high school. Came Ur regime, we had challenges and there are things back from using laptops. You remember what happened with the laptop scheme, and other things. So all those things, you realize there would be a challenge on there. Then towards the end, it changed. Who had the interest? Then the team came in place. Now, to implement the campaign. But towards the end of the campaign, it's all about interest. So it's the interest here establishment. And the stakeholders can help us there because the stakeholders will come with open heart. Osinde will come, I have no problem. You what? Secretary will come. I have no problem. Secretary may not say, Siasa is interest. Interest in education. And that's why it's making a lot of necessary noise. Talk about the education sector.
Every Sunday, I say Okindo, I'm director of the school. I'm going to go to party. So, no premise Karina Pado in Asada, it's a private school.
Yeah, it's a private school.
We prepare the battery with the Sakari, from the government.
Brighton evento egento ke karangotera nebito mbirubia elinga ntuna St Mary's ntotegemete serikali.
Yes, yeah.
We depend purely from our parents who pay their school fees. So entirely we depend on the school fees.
Yeah.
But now this is the problem that the curriculum that is coming, it requires inclusivity of parents, which is really expensive. And also what is required, the next class, grade 9 and 10, it will be in high school. Iyo etagete ebintu biriva gukoroki bara gukora egere bikoreki bikonye lakini rende ebintu bitaranza gukonya nga kibiko be ku in place because ende gitangani egere ko banga kirutaranza gukora igintu uko twarumanyi na hande kunye gutete kebekia o korumanyi pakumoiso okora research pakumoiso umaye ko irana gukora okora egere you collect yourself where there is a small mistake. But now eto gukora blindly without any information. And also we will say injibuna na so mayana manyanga education is power. It's a key.
Yeah.
Are you getting it? But when we go, and secretary Kirtwalinga the waiting room. Sometimes back we used to know that education is a movement from dark to right. But now it has changed. Let me tell you for free. It is now from the dark, from right to dark. Chimbe chinyinge echikuwe school. Abane bago develop poor, bad habits, bad characters in school. Today in Kenya. We changed the system. A system without a cane. A system that we don't shout at our children. We don't tell them this is wrong. In fact, you are school. What next? mwana ubike bita ebikoro to matawa. I don't mean exactly ebikoro lakini umwana wakorera mamocho mwana uchikurigirwa seria wote aba mwana tabaisa gwako school ige etabieria yakoreki akugendera kuyitwara kugendera kobenene. When we used to know kitambo that when we have education we presume on different diversities. We grow in different ways. The seed of education was to plant a tree that will be bigger of knowledge. Lakini bona igaye chenchiri bintebire bikomu fote school nabo tatenga bono ari no mejandere abadali mwana aberarali abereka
naro tiro ga ko kia ba mente dinaro mutaro bona ki afa ba ukora ga stakeholders para ya kwa hiyo project wangu ndio yao ekari working but Diego ya tu ga kila serikali ya sangiri bengere ba kutumia
Stakeholders includes my brother director Bunate. He may not say it openly. I can tell you where the shoe pinches, especially the private sector. There are things they regulate with the ministry. Even the private sector was still achieved.
Yes.
And this is my honest opinion. Looking on the challenges the ministry or education sector, in the public section, what about the private? You know, they are doing their own investment, their own private investment. I say it would be business, yes, but at some point, you realize the private sector can be the worst hit. A government, they have a monopoly and resources. Because in the partly private sector in terms of school fees. But the government was angry up to trillions, is unable to manage na resources enough timely to our public schools. What about the private sector? I know there could be challenges in terms of setting up library, laboratory, among other things. You need to give us time and room to improve gradually. Where will you get, for example, for them to set up a library or two, they need not less than $1 million.
Yes.
Investment of 1 million. Economy. Number two, even at the public sector level, there are challenges with the library, there are challenges with the laboratory, there are challenges with the classrooms, there are challenges with teachers, the tooling, the training. Secretary can tell you the challenge about our own suppliers, shortage of teachers. It is a big deal in some schools. Then the ministry will also push the principals to perform. But on the flip side, you realize even the number of, there's something back of the transition. The transition is a 100, a ministry was 100% from Famuna. Abana wants you back, junior secondary back again, senior secondary, 100% are transited to senior secondary. Not about transit when there are no infrastructure.
Yes.
Not about transit when there are no teachers. Not about transit when all these challenges never sorted out.
Yeah.
You realize one of stakeholders they cut across from the private sector, but the school job. The parents association, who of course need to be had, but can ever push for quality education. The whole conundrum, the confusion. For your information, and secretary can tell you, my brother here can tell you. Everybody back to meet grade 4, 5, about 2 class 8. I think those are also challenges. High school, because in back to meet they are not performing. What do with that? Then of course, teachers. Unions are coming up. Junior secondary unions. Now they are piling pressure on the government. That's why the government needs to listen to some of these stakeholders. It should also be able to listen to the stakeholders with open arms. Tell you about other conditions in the private sector. More meet conditions. It's an opportunity to attack.
To parte vingo stakeholders che commenta che tu ora riparto government to the mission education and to change moneta poi hanno fatto di Emis CPC y cuando viene aquí consorte especially na maida que eu tenho mono você nesse sistema aqui você this one way na academia para ver essa forma o tenho mais is one way to improve
you know, rebranding a system or system is not a big problem. The problem is will it serve the purpose it is intended. So if NEMIS to chemist will serve better than what NEMIS was doing, we have no problem. So changing the CPC to CP is not a problem. But if that makes it and well understood, okay, and you get systems and modalities of making it more effective, as my brothers have said, there's no problem. Issue someone is asking what is stakeholders. We have very many stakeholders. Whether abantu bari investors, whether they co-invest in education, those are stakeholders because they give their money to a system that or an organization, but they call a success. We have parents and the teachers, major stakeholders. When you are changing, because you need to prepare them ahead of time, and then once you have prepared, then you start piloting. You tell them, then you start piloting. Piloting area will show where the child in the bottlenecks are before you roll the whole system. That's how the government used to do. You see that? Now, here in our place, that was not done. Now, sponsors are the major stakeholders. Major stakeholders. As a church, we are a major stakeholder in Kenya. Any office I get into, I find someone who ran in our schools. At the moment I say I come, I'm a Catholic, I ran in St. Mary's in Nyeri. I ran in South the Sea in Mombasa. You know, I get proud. So we are stakeholders, and we have been in this system for long. I told you we advised the government of President Moi. We went to KIE. I participated in the writing of the books for 844, and it was a privilege for me, but I was from my church. Are you getting it? So me and Father Decker, we were from the church in that, and there are other teachers also who are in other subjects. So those are the stakeholders. And here, when you roll a program in a school where learners are involved, where parents are and teachers are, and you don't prepare them ahead of time, then when you roll it, they resist. Be sure you want to go far. You can't go far. So that's why I think by 2020, the government should have stopped and correct whatever they were being told. Number two, this government that is there, are you getting? Yeah, so you dropped, you take care of it. That's why a working party, that's what the president in his wisdom brought the working party. Advice. All that was not done is to give good advice to the government. Number three, when you give, as a working party, you give a government advice, you must have economists work about the advice will require this amount of money. Will the government be able? But the government implementing this will need this amount. So, in as much as the government is spending a lot in education, that a lot in education still is not enough to run. Leave alone this corruption. It is there. But the amount that comes to education right now with this economy cannot run a CPE curriculum. It cannot. Do you know why? Just a minute. Do you know why? We are unable to employ enough teachers for junior secondary. The reason, TSC is given a certain amount of money. And the Dr. Nancy Muchari is being told, the CEO, employ teachers. She employs teachers with the money. and asichigora batega abari mutagete mbanga naiga asibe seje mwakora ki mwanga employee teacher so batebya abari batakire 60,000 I cannot employ 10 or 20,000 and I cannot employ them permanent and pensionable internship again back na ha bose batakwanyara ba. You see how the government is, you know, our grandmother akira bagani bagira abange abanyaro boshya batakurugo bukima yari batega ya toro sirongori banyu bagoriki baki. That's what Nazi Masai is doing because that's the month she's given.
Yes, sir.
Just the last one.
Yes.
You know, this actually me I sympathized. Not as a police, but as a church person, I sympathized with this government in place with this CPC. And I told everybody got shocked in the place where I presented our paper, in Yamira County and the Kisii County. Everybody mad. Because I told them, you as a task force, you must be very careful. Give the government the right information that will match with the amount of money the economy, a country, affording. And I told them, I wish CPC did not come, but rather we tried to reform, to change and to build better the 844 to do its original. No matter what CPC has, 844 original, all those subjects were there. All they were supposed to do is to bring them in and try to do whatever, it's some improvement. Because the teachers were there, primary teachers could, if they improved it, they would have taught. 2, if we remained with 2 classes, 7 and 8 at primary, all the primary school teachers could teach those learners. Because there's
a component besides the 600 billion plus, the other stakeholders will support education programs.
Yes.
The UK aid, USAID, among other people, individual stakeholders will support education.
Yes.
Even with that support, still the government doesn't appreciate the far again. So what the Kuwait development projects here all over the country.
Yes.
Aimed at supporting these programs, which is a bit unfortunate to Tarara, those really change.
Yes. And because I don't just want to comment that, that's it with the dinner. I don't know the Kenya policies. The way we got them into Orioki and to run just to accept.
No. Yes. We need to go back 2 steps backward to reframe what it takes.
Yes.
There's nothing. Waja tuanguke ndio to reframe.
Yes.
But the reality remains.
Yes.
We need to go back 2 steps.
Yes.
We reframe the entire system. We take first what is required to change the situation and at least better the situation, and also allow the people in charge to do their job. Wacha kukuja na siasa kwa masomo. Kwa masomo itaki siasa. Siasa ya ingire ama somo before tutarakora ibintu biganiriye. Ikintu tangani. Ase amasomo ndubwe ndikoreta siasa ndubwe ndikoje bunanje bono ne umwana siasa nkora babonchali nganze gutrate ni abantu on the public on the forum na utakoletiga tutakufanya nini. Listen, give professionals do what it takes. Na babu utaka go victimize your mondo, go victimize as a professional person. He is a professional in this matter of education. Why can't you allow them to do the same? Bono iga I'm sorry to say that our deputy president, I'm the deputy president of this public. If you're not going to give the certificates, you are going to be fired. You're going to have so much heavy consequences. The question is, how did it even the first time? It could be even fair when you allow teachers to see what to do on matters of debts, because now we are the institutions. In Jebuna institution Engo tuwari michade mingi kirichi deni chire. Nando kwa temunga, there's no way you can send a Form 4 student home. It is not possible. Yes. Then what waika wame woche body and there is no way you can have the certificate of the student in your custody without the student paying. The student should be given again the notebook mabuae. How is now that possible? One thing I could end, I would just request that the ministry as a whole let them just calm down. Makori mintu birikiba kia kolide. Toki matenga waganda nezi mintu nga kolide. Aba tegera no show you tenilete apa esrankyo kora. That was all. That's how the system will just. Lakini mugo rasimishenga wali mutaona abari the education level is going to be inquire
Actually, I'm only building on what he is saying. You know, doctor, I'm not building on what doctor has brought out something that is killing our country. Politicians are managing education, and educationists are spectating. That is the problem in this country. For the last almost 12 years now, after Kibaki, it is actually politicians running education in this country. Now, you see, Umwana also in Form 1, also in the Form 4. And let the public understand this very clearly. Do us go destroy Banawaito. Okora Matemo, a serikali ya mwaka nere. Chibesi chamatemo. Are you getting it? A certificate yaso kiri. A certificate, yes, because the government is a center, a school yao, a center, Yamatemo, to talk candidate, Matemoya. A certificate in a one or candidate, Amatemo, which is okay, my certificate here. That's Rochko. But you can't say that, like a one way I Form 1, or the view teacher, to was a sell you money fee, a fees. Omuria Kamano one without the fees, that goes akabe boss akakira umwana wikire Form 2 twasokunomwe umwana wanda zose kufisi nende umwana yogana paka Form 4 or accumulate 100,000 and 20,000 fees areas. Are you getting it? Lakini kile certificate area sokire erota gete koreki eruwe. You are not telling this parenting a school ye abeta kind enough. Eganjiro mwana agasoma ku Form 1 paka Form 4 with fees ale wona karu areas area nyakane ile certificate ya koreki esoke. Wewe kwate yumugwe no muburinga gendo we certificate. Come na konyoranga, and this is what is funny. The school in Kisi here omuburi yabwate 20,000 fees balance. Are you getting it? 20,000 fees balance or 25. Or drive from Nairobi a V8. Patu school weye, ocha kuye certificate out the principal a ministry said young certificate. Otumia magute gari ya moa than fees area Syria. Are you getting it? Let us be very sincere here. Because yes, no, politics yes, and that's what is killing them. That's what's killing our schools. Lastly, you know, Ekerogo Chaki system of education, and I think that's what the doctor is saying. Ekerogo Chaki system of education, a lot of resistance on the way, and there are problems. You know, you stop and reflect. Let me ask you a very simple question. A ministry of the at grade 9, abana bako gende when they grade 10. 60% of our STEM sciences. STEM is sciences. Are you getting it? Now, already from grade 7 to grade 9, just couldn't you have another soma science at all? It's not good. 2 public day schools. Many of them in Chira. But some few rough equipment, like in the office or one some store, but they are just there. But that land you will prepare one of you, 60% of them back again, science. Now, what pathway about the young man in the second? That's why we are saying let us go back to the drawing board. Again, to reduce the casualties of our system.
That's nice. You can start in the city and again, and already go to go to schemes that programming goes to what are parliament? What are parliament here? Where are the ministry?
Kwanza babon tujuna because position area go taria tawachamia kisem kora tawa na because masigo no nyanda mokai ko vice chancellor. That is not our problem with an image of non-angle. Our problem with the way talk knee-jerk reactions.
Yes.
What is the basis of the no certificates? Who cares? It's senseless. What is the policy say? Is a private investor in education. Now, school fees, he has invested.
Yeah.
What is the return out of his investment? No, a certificate, blanket condemnation in a certificate, KCPE, plain legal. You know the implications, you go what next, because he's a private investor. He has been in communication now, he would allow us because he can get a school fees here in the process of where do you live in? School fees which he has invested. Some of them could have gone for a loan, might have gone for a loan, or facilitated you one or some clear without minding them in a certificate. Number two, what does the policy say? Why can't the government waive because parents they should, as a ministry, work on a policy to waive as they are unable to pay because there could not be many, because they know the status of the economy. They waive balance. I open another school because you give him an opportunity to upscale from where he is because of Amadeni and keeping that level. I invest more. That is when you help an individual who invests. And your motivation, your comment, business here. Finally, and very importantly,
yes,
I think we have a problem with more or less like a statue when someone somewhere is running the program or the government. Why would I be a minister in a ministry because you contain challenges which is so rampant? Corruption, rampant corruption, especially in the ministries, huge resources.
Yes.
But where you can easily look at the effectiveness of the ministry on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yes.
We can rate the ministry education on the incompetencies to are so far. It could be 1.5 in terms of effectiveness, in terms of delivery, because it's challenges everywhere. In Morata, everywhere the higher learning funding model here, you can't tell. I have information universities because of Amadeni. I've recreated school fees. We are working on a model. A model here, government, they got together. They have their own mindsets. Like the finance bill 2024. The government was stuck in against the game, and that is what they did. Finally, the West resources. I've seen something happening in South Mogorango. Look at what they're going to do. And other places, they can afford more than 10 classrooms. Look at that investment. What is the priority? As a government, certificate school fees, Director Nyabayo, at the end of the day, you waste a lot of resources here. This money will come in a different form. 600 billion money in different forms. Corruption. These are the money of our and change ko 20 million, change ko 10 million, abantu bago in the name of development, but in the real sense, they are doing money laundering and politics, which is very unfortunate. So we got to answer from the top, and the minister now should crack the whip at what belongs to education must be utilized in education. Issues to do with, and this is my way forward, issues to do with certificate and street declarations. A decision Professor getting among the certificate. It is neither here nor there. And this is the state value. There are things that the stakeholders. Stakeholders are way forward. And my way forward is, being one of the stakeholders, is to waive this school fees for private sector return of investment, for public schools when you already have resources back and suppliers, even the principals that were out of the pressure and the conditions we are very subjected to, were able to clear these bills.
We have around 20 minutes to wind up. Show it as Mambi Nyabayo. Maybe you can continue because of 20 minutes to call it. You got to go and a break. You got to utilize 20 minutes. You just
maybe can I break?
Okay. So, where we are today, we need to sit and share. We need to sit and share what is the reality with the management of the education, from the PS, the minister, then the county secretary, then the county directors, sub-county directors, principals, head teachers from every region. Tuambiane ukweli. Siku hiyo hapo mwenye anakaa victimized because he's a government employee. We talk the reality. We put things in order. We put our house of education in a perspective to prosper. Lakini toko ganderega. Nifokje to wutu omirenya si negosiali saini. Hata ya vinde byakoreki byakomire mune ambassador nakale koro. Amina Mohamed. Akande ya vinde bya na abwato kire ayo mwambinje mbwato koko. Inki. Yeye alienda akapewa projection ya the entire system. Akaona hii hapana. Akapewa information from the real stakeholders. Akaambiwa hapa tunamegonga mwamba pale mbele. Akaona hiyo yesifanya nini? Yesifanyika. Na kiba alete magwa. But one thing I want to ask. I wish somebody can give me a chance. Share my project that I've done and research about the new system. Yes. CPA, so that we share. Yes. So I wish I can be given a chance because we cannot reach them. I wish we can share, we can call us the private entity, so that we share this. We need to share the reality. I've been in this field for the 15 years today. Ilianza shule 2010 January 15th, 2010. To date, I ran a school from primary to secondary. But the lifestyle of the system I've faced in the last 2 years is crooked. I don't know which name I can put. You feed the reality. Lakini maeneo bolinga tuharagwanja a system yes kubona iga asere. But we get
the ministry. You're rating on a scale of 1 to 10.
It is 0. Don't even give it anything because again to one in fact, let me tell you, our president of the republic, America force mingi sana kwa house levy. Housing imekimbishwa kabisa. I wish you could do it in the education for a section. What chance housing levy? Ata chance go on CBC and our new system of curriculum. We could be even better. In fact, tukagaa tumesonga step moja ya pili. Lakini now his energy is on a different level, on a different forum departments. So one request. As a country, we need to get back as I said, 2 steps backward. Yes. Abalimu are on the ground from private schools and public schools. Not even the county directors. County directors, they are only dispatching what they have been given by the ministry. So these teachers who are at school, who are right now at school, school. The committee that can cover the entire region. The real problem, what is the problem? We want to praise the gathering.
No, actually, what I wanted to say is, personally, I've known CS Migos for some time. He doesn't know me, but I know him. One good thing is that he's someone who follows procedures. Procedures. That one is very clear.
As an individual or
as a leader.
government?
Number 2 is pragmatic.
Yeah.
Now, on those 2 principles, those very strong traits, I know if he's given room, he can bring back the education system to where it should be. Yeah. Now, that one, I don't want to answer that one. Number two. He has to ask him on another. You know, he must identify certain challenges. I want to get at him to revise or to review. You know, 844 was reviewed, I think, first in 1992. We did it again in 1996. Every 4 years, we review 844. Every 4 years. So let him find out when the right time for review is due. He refused this system so that he can save the situation that we are in. You know, you can revise a syllabus, a curriculum, to make it, to align it with the interest and the ability. Two things, interest and the ability of the state. Are you getting it? So to me, if we can do that as we move on, definitely it will save the situation. Because no, you see, let me tell you. No. You know, once a minister finds challenges in this ministry, he goes to the president and they go to the cabinet and they discuss. They get the ways out. So, education system to where there is very actually in as much as to blame the government. Let us go back and find out thing. We have shared with some people from other countries. They tell us this education system is very expensive for the country. Two, there was no need to bring a totally new system when actually so Muslim paid for. You know the difference between CPC and CPE and it is very, very small. Very small. If it was revised, it would have been better. If it would have been reviewed, it would have been better. But now, we are where we are. We are in the middle of a forest, where we threw in a train, as the professor said. We can't stop. But we need to review as we move. We reduce the speed, we review as we move. Yes. You know, let me tell you. No, yes, when the military ministry met the minister and his staff go through. I don't know whether it was an oversight or because anybody work on a them direct. Are you getting it? Yes, the card you to Maguchi Kenya National Examination Council. I let me tell you. Now, we brought the Kenya can use them. The government can't allow that. They should need a key. They will find a way out of sorting that issue. Two, when such how can I call it? Such open type of oversight or whatever is seen, there must have been something that must have happened, either deliberate or accidental, or it's omission or commission. Because as an Are you getting it? So, can you get commis, but you never know what is it, a typing error or whatever. Let me leave it at that.
Kalau mana itu, kalau mana siasa ya community association, itu rasa mesti bawa suara siasa dan sebagainya. Tapi ini orang nanti education itu juga betul mana siasa.
Ini biru tayar.
Yes,
biar. In my honest opinion, yes. Waziri, because he is not the Minister for Education because of the things we cover in the Russell Ministry. Atamanya either deliberately because the intention of knowing that by design or whatever. Typing error here means is incompetent. You know, if there are things we want, so and then because I sympathize with him. But be it as it may, no, Professor Magoa, even to be a Muslim. Amina Muhammad into ya Muslim the via CBC. Miko Shogamba, wakili, otanya kuwaki in government for the time na mwanyili. Chances are very high now we come very become and the seeming to be arrogant. We have more problems. A crisis here getting reforms here one state collector, which is quite tricky for him.
Ministry.
So my point there, in Brighton. Number one, you got a year certificate is a wrong direction, which is something we've agreed collectively. Is a mistake, a policy, a ministry, whatever. And our opinion, stakeholders, the ministry of we are going to school for the Johnson, and make right their threat. You cannot threaten teachers, you cannot threaten principals in the understanding of the same principles, because the teachers, whatever, they are stakeholders, Secretary given time, because you have allowed I one opportunity to work, Taraja complaining that I will apologize. Again, seeming here as an authority and must be director of I accommodate actually Gamazino. Secretary, Oikong allow your minto. And Lakinere, Evintoria Mongina, Maokoro, whatever. Abagani batira abango zinawa to kwara wakati kando ziyongoli ekikemini ga secretary ataiko tabanelina to kwate quality na quantity na vera abo kuma bono quantity quality o kuma onero ngole sengeje bintu byasinyire tigatoa abana baidero ngoli eyo, which is substandard education, which is very unfortunate. And the ministry because now is delivering ngoli which is quite unfortunate. Schools are now a little bit ungovernable. What resources you are challenged, there is nothing you can do. Yet, and this is where I'm coming from. Now, they have a lot of resources. When education sector gets staffed, there is no disbursement in time. We have challenges in these resources. Finally, yeah, projects CDF, some resources education entirely as CDF. We don't have experts manage resources here CDF. And then when you run some of the projects Chico are run by CDF was Chico implemented by CDF education line. Security, no, CDF manage. Those are very sensitive ministries. And then Chico go funding it's an extension of more resources. Besides, because ministry education more than 600 billion, we have other resources in the name of CDF, which is more than on average 160 million. Chico cater for education and security, which is quite unfortunate. In my own opinion. principals of schools. Kende kionsi kekogenda CDF in terms of education. Tigageje directly to schools where boards of management.
Ine hata kutoja kujibeka.
Na kiko kwa dele wewe watoto wata injecting kore.
Kora pima de to ni.
Ose tiga kora.
Ketu bigase Nyabayo kuturuna ndio close because of time tingengere. Lakini kuna kama disbursement of competition yako tu for term 2. Kama kuna free primary education. Ikende kiara kio chanda kwa hivyo sana. Kama ndio kwa hiyo free primary education na free day junior school education erarojene kimundo mjana.
I want to say I want to say this, free primary and secondary education was free when Kibaki was on power. Like today it's not. Varusi free, babe keteriali.
Subsidized.
Yes. About subsidized, because now let me tell you, I'm a contractor sometimes.
Yes.
I supply to public schools.
Yes.
There is one thing, the narrative that they are giving us is quite unreasonable. Concerned of what we get from news. Capitation is on the schools, but the reality is, how do you give 3 million for capitation for 700-800 students? 3 million. Then, yes, then you say the same school, you allow the students to pick the certificates who were around 400 who had the exam. Imagine wanafunzi 400 to eat someone is food without paying. Then it comes that the debts in schools, they have 25 million debts today. But the capitation that has come to schools, it is 2, 3, 4 million. So tell me how these teachers are supposed to do to at least so that they can feed their contractors or their suppliers. There's nothing free. In fact, they should say, they should make it very clear. That's why I told you I need this, at least a chance. We streamline these things. We say what it is. Tuseme aje mwalimu hakuna kitu ya free. Wazazi kila mtu achukue ndizi sokoni, leta school fees. On this matter, mzazi asimamie tuition fee, which is 10,000. Serikali itasimamia mtihani ama kulea walimu wale wenye wanafunza watoto wapi shuleni na other subordinate staffs, so that we can have a clear mandate to each and every one of us to make this system work.
You're crossing the back because of time.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the chance to share with the public on what is happening to our schools, to our Ministry of Education. I want to put these remarks very serious. Like, kindly sit with your principals. They are suffering in silence. Some, they want even to kill themselves because they thought that capitation, when it comes, itawasaidia mahali hapa. Wakachukua maybe pesa mahali, wakalipa suppliers because they had auctioneers on the road, they had so many things. So they took money from somewhere to cover this. When it comes so little. You don't know whether you carry on with the same or you pay the last suppliers. So it is really difficult. Lastly, upande wa siasa kidogo tu. I want abanjali next time 2027. Muligerelingo moko wa gasi. Mube ko muntu obisi oratokonye. Abanjali bisese nkurwa. I tried to be the MP last election. I lost to Dr. Orioki. But today niliona tu kwa mitandao kwamba the students were told that they have been paid 10,000 to colleges, but it's cancelled or something, which is really unreasonable. Like, I didn't get the reality, what was it, but kila mtu analia kwamba ni mchezo. Niliona tu comment ni mchezo wa town. So 2027 tuligerelingo togo chora in every constituency, because that will be the beginning to succeed. Naomba tenine ya bono banse kombekera tiri kurbon ma na sabire chikura na nda taswa na reta li swage linga 27 chikura chigoika tuligere lingo to koraki to kobeka ki no karete be no karete abanjare simule moibura mangana yu
my final remark is in terms of education reform was a crisis. It's unfortunate. Yeah, they overcome banana say serikali yote makoleta ama chikama ya reforms ya like korosia education intervention ya rokananga umujano kwa monene ko bwano eno murogero bandika ine obomuya yani akarokoreta reforms yekero bane chigo changia ebintu byabe bibemo bose challenges cyaba kinyinge mono eyagerire. We are not caught in between whether abana baitokonyora quality education was a quantity ekoro kunga elimu bora was a bora elimu, which is quite unfortunate. So the ministry they engage stakeholders and the best way possible abana baitokora nyore elimu bora.
That's nice.
Asante, Dr. Unsurprisingly, I wish he didn't make that political comment here.
Yes.
But let me advise him. Don't underrate him. Support him. Then mutake kerundo. Yes, yeah. So, now, and we wish our MPs the best. Let them do what they can do for our MCS. Let them do good work for our education. Mine is to pray that our CS Migosi will support him. We hope that he will do his best to push this education system to a level that it's supposed to be. And I wish that we get enough information from the ground so that where there are gaps, how best they can assist the Makori. Two, my prayer is to our parents, all our schools, our parents, I beg them, if they can be near to the schools, especially junior secondary, assist abalimu egere abana baito barusemba ba improve wake, especially grade 9, tukonyora abana bako ba mangute 60% bari bajokora STEM. There are challenges in education, and I think it's because of the lack of resources. Because right now, what's go calculate 2020 or 2021, wakabona iga capitation, especially in secondary schools, it's adding up to 21,000 per child. Kitaraika schools per child. That shows you that the economy is not doing very well, and our education system financing very enough. Yes. Otherwise, thank you very much for calling us. We pray for our country. We pray for our children in schools, and we hope that we see it. Our leaders will come together to make we see it move forward.
That's nice.
Thank you so
much. Competence based curriculum, curriculum based education.
Well, a curriculum is that which you teach in a class. Okay, education is the whole system. So competence-based education is also very good. They were hardly doing their thing, so we are correcting. That's why we are correcting issues or making new changes as we move on.
Usikizi diocese secondary school education secretary no akoba kabisa wanagotoa ngana na Nyabayo Okindo ni gama director for St. Mary's Genius Mission Girls High School kwa county ya Nakuru alio sebana na ndio msiara bana alio singona ndio msiara bana zuru migwa kwa ile yana kwa ile bana kwa nisubiwa kumi kwa ngina Dennis Orioki wasensemia tusome education project ndio ndio studio atore kabisa ya msingi baada na serikali stakeholders kwa kiwango chamo ndio kime tuamo na korora na ki education studio so baada una siasa ndio kile kwa haraka kwa wasensemia masomo ndio masomo aiwe iwa because baada education is the liberation ila okonye ndio agere kwa sababu orage ndio na sio chini na kwa kuna Stakeholder ndio kwa Frank Mayunga ndio the process of the transmission sana mtitane kwa video kwa Jumatatu ile siku ya Ijumaa inside kwa video mpaka inside nitakaleta kwa kimemo kabla ya sana ndio tunasema video na utabiriane Brighton Makori